What is up, everybody? Welcome to part B or C, whichever this is going to be. My last video of this was an hour long, so I'm definitely chopping that thing in half. I'm going to try not to do this one so long. So where I left off was the couplet exercise. So now I'm going to go into threes, three-stroke rolls. I'm going to start with a one-hand three exercise that I wrote. It's called bow, bow, bow. All right. So it's syncopated. It's like an A-B exercise, but with threes. Okay. So it's got four parts to it. So here we go. Each part is played twice, and there's four parts. Okay. Brace on my forearm. I banged my elbow pretty good last week. It was really bothering me. Anyways, yeah, so it's very difficult to do that pattern at like that speed. To get that one tap in there, that whoo, that's ridiculous. But hey, I wrote it, so it's my fault. So after that, I would go into these two single exercises. So the first one is called breakdown, and it's practicing for. It didn't start out this way, but it turned into a good way to practice for teaching hertas. Okay. Okay, right now, at this tempo, it seems like a good way to like a harmless, like almost legato exercise, right? Okay. The next section is breaks down from that. One more. Then it lays on the left hand. Right? Then once I started getting it up to speed, I was like, oh, this is like Herta's. Right? Like Herta's. Or, as I like to call them, single threes, because that's what they are, a single stroke three. 1, 2, 3. So forth and so on. All right, so if you're having trouble playing Herta's, play a shuffle. Yeah, a couple ways you can approach Herta's. Play a shuffle. And shove that left hand in between the two notes of your shuffle. It takes a minute with the left. And remember, it's also just a single stroke three. But the reason I demonstrate it with a shuffle pattern is because you play shuffles with your fingers, right? Guys play Herta's really fast because they use your fingers. All you're doing over here is just one note. It's a single stroke. And an extra tap. Sounds like the following hand sounds like an almost messed up legato, you know. It's not exactly steady. It's like a dotted 8th note almost, or dotted 64th note. My drum set's sitting right there, so that's why you hear all this crazy reverb. I had like 10 cymbals and 8-piece drum set over there vibrating. Let's see, so hertzes. Yeah, so that's a great exercise. That breakdown exercise is great for practicing hertzes. Now, there is a hand-to-hand version of that breakdown exercise called lead and follow that I, on the onset, wrote for students to balance out their right and left hands that were having trouble playing their single stroke roll like this. As remember, in the first video of this little series here, I told you to practice your single stroke roll leading with your left hand. Okay, so this one goes okay, ends on 4E and then you lead that same pattern with the left hand. And then you do it again with the right and then the left. Okay, so let's play that twice. 2, 1. Now you do the same exact thing, except cut it in half. 2 beats of 8th notes, 2 beats of 16th notes. Okay, do the same thing again, cut that in half. Whoop. Now, the coup de grace, as I said. So, the ending, the two measures. So now, as we're breaking everything down, we have 1/8 note and 4/16 notes. One, and it alternates. But it's just single stroke fives. Now remember, each measure ends with 4E and. That's what these two measures end with. 1, and it starts with an 8th note and ends with an 8th note. 1 and 2 and 4 and 1 and 3 and 4 and 1, because you repeat it. And then lead with the left. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Okay. That's where those two measures played twice, and you play them again. You constantly alternate single stroke fives. As long as you constantly alternate, you'll get it right. If you do any doubles anywhere, you'll screw it up. You would have screwed up if you played any doubles. So, constantly alternate single stroke fives. 1 tap, alternate single stroke fives. 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, and 4, and 1, and 3, and 4, and 1. So, I kind of lied. The only doubles you do are and 1 or and 1 on 8th notes, not on the 16th notes. But, yeah, let's do that again. Just those last two measures. 2, 3, and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 4 and 1. Okay? Right back at the beginning. And 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. So now you're doing single fives. Ah. What the? That's why my stick is breaking. I just can't help but do rim shots. All right. So, but there you go. And you got that little sneaky Herta at the end of that third section. And then you see the five there. A single five into a Herta. And then you gotta shift it in the fifth gear for all those single fives. So yeah, once I got up that exercise up to speed, I was like, oh, look at that. So yeah, sneaky. Okay, so now I would go to diddles or drags, drags and rolls, and I like to do triplet drags and rolls just because they're a little more open, gives you a little more space, and even when you do play them fast, you still have to keep them open. All right, it helps to keep them open. And this is an exercise I got from the West Shoreman, and we did this in the when I did the alumni corps last show. So and it works really well. All right, so here we go. Pretty basic. It's kind of like a 4-2-1 thing, kind of not. It's like a progression of it, but I like it. We never played it that fast. Let's see. And then flams. For flams, I use most of my X patterns. I don't normally use too many standard patterns. Like I don't take like the triplet 4-2-1 and put flams on it. I'll just go with whatever I feel like playing. Excuse me, feel like playing. That's what I wanted to say. Inverts. Anything that's not natural is an invert. So if you have this pattern, and you invert it, it would alternate. And that leads you to regular inverted flam taps. When I get that click sound. So a triplet. Those are inverting it because they naturally alternate. I was never really good at those. I just alternated. I was like, what's the point? Yeah, that's it for those. Yeah, so any kind of pattern that goes against its natural seeking is an inversion of its self. That's really it. That's kind of the top of the food chain. Once you get the flams and rolls, that's pretty much the top. If you're not warmed up by then, you're not going to get warmed up. As far as playing that stuff, keep the rolls down. When you're playing 16th note bass rolls, just try to keep them down and into the drum. Remember your hand motion. Pop your accents. Don't rush into your accents. So like I said, keep your hand motion, keep the rolls down so that you maintain that separation between your tap accent and your roll height. That way you don't have to, manhandle your accent for it to be heard. And your roll is still going to project. Because you're playing into the drum, and the snares, the way the drum is designed is going to work for you. Play with half broken sticks. Let's see what else. So yeah, if you're rewinding a bit, if you're having trouble doing that, separating your heights, play a lot of that. Just 16th notes with accents. Doesn't even have to be 16th notes. It could be those odd time signatures that I mentioned before. Actually, I forgot that exercise. What was that? Some we played up in West Shore. Yeah, now I made the drum too high. But yeah, so if you go to like the 1E and the 421, that thing. So I made another version of it where I put twice as many taps in between each variation. So it was like kind of made a halftime version of the exercise. And then I made an extra accent after every standard accent. So it was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, good practice for doing 2 accents in a row. All right, so, you know, just to give you consistency on going, you know, playing more than 1 accent. So, because if you only practice playing 1 accent and going back to your taps, you're only going to be good at playing 1 accent and going back to taps. So what do you do when you have to play 2 accents in a row? All right, things like that. Think about that. All right. You know, improv. Think, you know, try to think outside the box a little bit. Practice those things that you're not good at doing. 'Cause that's the only way you're going to improve. If you're only good at, you know, you're not going to get good at open rolls if you only practice tap rolls. You're not going to get good at tap rolls if you only practice open rolls. You know. Make sure you practice the things that you're not good at. Okay, it's the best way to improve. Yeah, I can practice my inverted cheese flams, but I don't play any inverted cheese flams. I don't need to. That's for you young guys still marching and trying to win individuals. So I think I covered everything. Yeah, like I said, inverts, anything that's not a natural pattern is an invert. You know, diddles are diddles. If you know, in drumming, there's 4 basic food groups. singles, double strokes, or multi-bounce patterns, accents, or taps. 4 things you have to master. You know, you master those 4 things, you're good. Everything else is just variations thereof. And there's a million exercises to get you to practice those things. But if you just, you know, weed through all that stuff and practice that or that, there's not much else that you won't be able to do. It's all about your technique and how you think about it and focus and count everything. Okay? Count everything. That's the best way to go. Okay? Like a proper musician. Be a proper musician, you'll play like a proper musician. All right? So that's it. That's it for this, man. So if you ever have any questions or comments, please send me a message on my YouTube channel or on my Facebook page. I'm on Facebook too. And I'll answer them as quickly as I can. Okay? So, till next time, keep drumming.